Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content today is an age-old trick that the left, the gun controllers, like to do. They like to attack SCOTUSes, utilizing the media and their bulldogs and the press in order to convince them that they're watching, because there's a really interesting gun vote conversation coming up 3 days from right now when this article was released. I'm sure that's just a coincidence because now they're going after Alito. Everything I'm about to show you is going to be linked in the description box below, and pay attention to this because this is how these people operate, make no doubt about it. Now, of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on, and send this one out to expose these tricks for exactly what they are as we get into this and spread freedom to and fro across this amazing land. And like I always said this weekend, do not miss out on your opportunity for this limited time design t-shirt that I designed myself with 9line. This is the new version of the Tree of Liberty that's been so thirsty recently. On one side, you've got the Tree of Freedom and Liberty, on the other side of tyranny, with the attributes all along the tree, including the root system, for which you get the outcomes if you follow those individual attributes. Check it out. There's a link in the description box below. It will only be available through Friday of this week, so make sure you guys get yourself for one for your goodness gracious. Get one for yourself and also one for your loved one, because we have men and women's here, because we don't discriminate this freedom train. With that said, let's get into it. Check it out right in the description. Now on to this, because this is a very serious thing. Obviously, with a big gun conversation around assault weapons ban and a conference happening 3 days from now, we need to talk about how concerning Alito and Thomas and all of the conservatives are on the Supreme Court, from the media and the press bullies. This is what's happening. Check this out. Trump, gun owners, and January 6 rioters. Tough on crime. Justice Alito displays empathy for some criminal defendants. See what they're doing? They're putting Alito's name in the press to circulate pressure indirectly on a sitting SCOTUS, or justice on the SCOTUS. This is what they did with Thomas, right when they were talking about the bump stock bans and the domestic violence through the Rahimi gun access conversation as well. This is what they do. When they don't have the control of power, they just utilize the press in order to bully justices to have their names circulated through the entire press. This is literally what they do. Works on Roberts. I don't think it's going to work on Alito and Thomas, but let me show you more of the things that they're doing here. Conservative Justice Samuel Alito, a former U.S. attorney with a long history of voting in favor of prosecutors, has shown signs of empathy for defendants in recent cases involving gun owners, January 6th, and Trump. All the scary things to motivate the left. Quote, "It just did seem to be a totally different justice to the one we've normally seen," said Brianne Garrod, a lawyer with the left-leaning Constitutional Accountability Center. His comments seem to suggest that Alito certainly can have empathy, but is only for certain categories of people who come before the court, she added. Isn't it interesting how NBC is leveraging a piece against Alito, a conservative justice, 3 days before an assault weapons ban conversation comes out, and they're referencing left-leaning individuals. This could not be more clear if it was written down. All right, let's continue here, because there's even more references to gun rights. In another case on a federal ban on gun accessories called bump stocks that allow a semi-automatic rifle to fire more quickly. Wow, I thought they were called machine guns, but we're not. No, we're okay. Alito said it would be disturbing for people to be prosecuted for owning them when lower courts have questioned the ban's lawfulness, even if the Supreme Court ultimately upholds it. So there's varying degrees of agreement or disagreement, and it's a bad thing to say that's concerning that you're going to arrest people. That's what the argument right there is? Well, it hasn't been determined by the Supreme Court, but Alito said it's concerning if you're arrested or property is seized without a full understanding of what's happening with differing agreements. That's the whole point! Guys, the reason that I'm delivering this to you and showing you, they are trying to apply pressure on sitting justices and rallying the support of the left against them. This is how they get all the protesters out there and give them all the food in order to basically start their little hey hey ho ho's slogans. Let's continue. I got a few more things, because again, this is all about guns, rioters, and Trump, but we're going to focus on the gun part, because this is really, really scary, and he's so out of touch. Alito also appeared concerned in a separate gun case about the due process rights of gun owners who face having to give up their firearms and risk prosecution if they don't, when accused of domestic violence. Tell me where this is bad. He's concerned about the due process rights of American citizens, which is literally his mandate, when there's been no conviction of anything, only of the accused, not of the convicted, accused. And NBC is citing left-leaning journalists and activists to say it's a bad thing that people who are accused still get to keep their due process. Guys, this is what we're facing. This is what we're fighting. These people have no bearing of what is constitutional is not. It's only what they want. It's their truth. Does that sound familiar? Now they're going after Alito and Thomas for different things because that's what they have to do. They have to bully the justices because it's out of balance, which means really it's just not under control of the left. Let's continue. What would happen, he asked, if people were under domestic violence protective orders or themselves under threat? So like women. So the person thinks he or she is in danger and wants to have a firearm. If the person's only recourse to possess the firearm and take their chances if they get prosecuted, he asked. So you're putting yourself in a situation where it's, I'm either in trouble by the law and be prosecuted because of an unconstitutional lack of due process, or I'm going to get violently attacked by a person who's under threat. Why is this a question? Why is this something that's beyond the pale? It's not. They are trying to frame it as him being unreasonable in order to pressure him not to take up assault weapon bans in 3 days. Guys, this is so transparent, it's stupid, and if you had any questions about which side this writer's on, listen to this in concluding this article. But to those critical of Alito, his selective empathy ties him solidly with the kind of conservative cultural grievances that they think helped Trump become president. Ooh, it's his fault that Trump was president. In 2017, Siegel wrote an article which he called Alito the primary judicial voice of the many millions of Americans who appear to be losing the culture war. They're not losing the culture war. The culture war is absolutely going to the right side of the aisle. But anyway, more on that another time. Now he puts it slightly differently, saying Alito is, quote, the most MAGA Republican justice, and that is a horrible, horrible thing to say about any jurist, concludes the article. Not only is he favoring gun rights and favoring due process and allowing people with accusations of domestic violence to still have due process, he's also sympathetic to Trump and to the January 6 rioters, and he's the most MAGA of all the jurists, which is a horrible, horrible thing. Guys, I mean, this could not be more clear what's happening right now. And again, just to highlight the timing, 3 days before they talk about taking up assault weapons bans. I'm sure that has nothing to do with anything, and this is just coincidence that this came out right now against a conservative sitting justice. No? I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know what you think, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.